for confidence. The confidence to be myself, and so to teach people and to guide people to become confident with themselves. My methodology is very simple. I like simple things, and it's also very holistic. It is based on coaching 4 dimensions of who we are. One is the physical dimension, intellectual dimension, the second one, the third one, emotional dimension. And then we go out and we meet people. So we have eventually to look at the relational dimension and how we deal with that. I started this series of talks around coaching in 4 dimensions to explain people, what is my work and how I work with people. So if you run back and you go and see past videos on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube, because now they will be on YouTube and they will be always there, you can find them, you will really, understand the sequence. And so I started with the physical dimension, I went on with the intellectual dimension in positive and negative thinking, and then now I am with the emotional dimension in positive and negative emotions. So let's kick off and start talking about emotion. Emotions are really a passion for me because, first of all, I am an emotional person and I had to learn how to deal and to manage my emotions. Second, the emotions are what eventually make up your emotional intelligence. Actually, they're not the emotion make up the emotional intelligence, but it's the way that we manage and we understand the emotion that makes up our, emotional intelligence, which can be used in life and in work. So that's why it's so important. When I published the book in Singapore in 2008, Stella's Mind Gets a Groove Back, a true story, I talked a lot about emotion and how I was not able eventually to manage them when I started my journey and I was only about 35. So in this book, if you see the Kindle version on Amazon or also Amazon, you will find definitely much that refers to emotion. And then of course there are many other books on the market, and I suggest always other books, not only mine, because it would be, too much egocentric. So there is this very good book by Gary Chapman about anger that says Taming a Powerful Emotion. And then there is another book about the roots of love. Love is another emotion that I like to talk a lot when I coach people or when I, speak to people. So today I want simply to say that when we look at the emotional dimension, we have to start from basic. As I said, simplicity is a passion for me. So not much complicated stuff. Let's start with the 4 basic emotions. We have fear, we have anger, we have sadness, and then we have joy. And as you see, there is only 1 positive and 3 negative. And these are considered the basic emotion. But of course, we have a lot of shades and a lot of, different other kind of emotion that stem out of these 4 basic emotions. Why 3 negative? Well, this already tells us that, negativity is very strong. And so we have to counterpart, the presence of negativity with a lot of positivity. And this is why I love to talk about love a lot, about the power of love, self-love, love for others. And we will do much in the next session. But today is just an introduction to understand that, these 4 emotions are not bad or good. Normally what we learn already when we are children is that certain emotions are not good, are bad. But this is already a judgment. And I said that also when I came here to talk last week, or some time ago, about thoughts. There are no bad or good thoughts. There are positive and good thoughts. As there are positive and good emotions. As there are no positive, negative and good emotion, but there are positive and negative emotion. And why we say that? Because when we judge already, we create division, right? We exclude. And I'm not for exclusion, I'm for inclusion. So when I say positive and negative, I am not lying, I'm simply saying the truth. Some emotion like joy uplift me and made me smile and made me, have some kind of bright light in my eyes, made me open my chest, made me, really start talking in an open position also when I'm in front of an audience. But when I'm in fear, for example, my body starts to tense, to shut down, to shrink. And when I'm in sadness, my eye can go down and my head can go down and my energy slow down. When I'm in anger again, I can be tense, I can be dark, and two lines here can come. I remember my daughter, when she said, Mom, she was a child, she said, Mom, when you have these two lines, you remind me a lot of, and she said, the person I reminded her about, and I said, ooh! So I was able, since that very moment, to really remind myself that when I'm in tension, these two lines are coming, and actually it's not really what I like to send out as a message to people. A smile can always attract positive. When I'm intense, when I'm dark, I can always create distance with people. Even if I'm not angry, I might just be in dark space, but with myself. Maybe I'm just reflective and having my position that is close like that. So people eventually look at me and say, oh, Elisabetta is not in the right mood, better stay away from her. But when we are smiling, when we are in a state of joy, it's true that the energy is up. So it's very important that we maintain this up energy, and we understand how, because emotion are really a big engine of our life. Emotional energy, motion. So another thing that, another element that I add to your knowledge today, energy means that I cannot touch them. Can you touch your fear? Can you touch your joy? Can you put your fear, or your joy, or your anger, or your sadness inside a bottle or inside a box? You can't. But if you close your eyes and you think about anger or, excitement or passion, or love, you might eventually have an idea of a color. For example, when I ask people, think about love, people say, well, I can imagine a pink color or gold color. But when I say fear, normally people, reply with a darker color that could be, black or gray or brown. So we can give color because emotion really creates a rainbow of colors for us, but we cannot really contain them. They are very, very wild, and that's why we need to know each emotion very well, and also we need to know how they move through our body, because they don't only move in terms of making us take some kind of position or having some kind of tension or relaxation. Emotions are also creating physical misalignment, which means also physical disease. And that's why when I coach, I always coach people also of the body. And in the past session a couple of weeks ago, I talked about the first need of the body, that is eating. But we will go on talking about the needs of the body in the next weeks. So I think that for today is enough. I said that emotion are energy, motion. Emotion are the engine of your life. They are the one that puts your body in motion and enter the action. And they depend always from your thoughts. So if I have a positive thought, remember, always a positive emotion. If I have a negative thought, always a negative emotion. And we will talk about the cycle eventually in the future. Then I said that emotion cannot be contained because they are emotion. I cannot touch them, but I can imagine colors when I think about emotions. And then what did I say? I said that emotion are not bad or good, but they are positive and negative. Well, I think for today is enough. And remember, it's just learning little by little, like a baby, little steps, and trying to have whatever we learn in a podcast or in a talk or in an interview, having what we hear sinking inside, and not only that, but also starting to practice. So start to practice, using positive and negative emotion instead of bad and good emotions, so that we will see that we will not push away certain emotion because we judge them bad. There are no bad emotion. Every emotion is very useful. Unfortunately, we're not educated to understand in what way they can become healthy and useful to us. But together, we will go there one day. So thank you very much for listening. And, I wish you happy Easter, because tomorrow is Easter. Today is, I think it's the 3rd of April 2021, 1 year after COVID. Remember, in this moment of COVID also, maintaining our emotions up is absolutely priority, because this is what eventually will give us the courage and that energy that we need to overcome this time of darkness, which is, covering up the globe. So goodbye from Barcelona, see you soon, ciao, a presto, e I love you all. Bye.